talks,
really
you
muffled
can't.
here?
Yeah, you can't hear the enunciation of anything. It just sounds like a voice, but with no like definition to it at all.
Like a Sasquatch.
Those two girls wearing the same shirt.
They totally look like twins.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yes, even the way
One
that
looks
they're
like
standing.
a redhead and one
Yes.
looks like brunette, and they look like they're wearing the exact same
Yes.
outfit.
They are. That's life, man. That's what it is nowadays. That's the way. That's the way. It's crazy. And who is choosing it?
And welcome inside. And welcome inside Bill Hunter Arena for Junior B Tier 1 action. It's the visiting Beaumont Outlaws taking on the home side, the Edmonton Warriors. The Outlaws come in with a record of 3-11-1, while the Warriors roll in at 2-13. The Outlaws occupying that third and final playoff spot in the north with 7 points, and the Warriors looking to track them down in the basement with 4. Your starting goaltenders in this one tonight, it'll be number 35, Reed McLeod in the Outlaw net, and down in the other end, it'll be Lucas Bialik for the Warriors. Your officials for tonight's game, Sean Reed and Ryan White. So here on this Friday night, we've got a battle for the final playoff spot in the north. We're glad you could join us here on CROW LAX TV in what should be a tightly contested affair. Draw is going to be won back by the Warriors, and Morris runs back for it, but is unable to grab it, and Wells will pick it up for the Outlaws. He'll start it up on offense. Wells gets a pick from Hildebrand. Ball goes loose, and it's going to be fought for in the middle of the floor. Ball dribbles back into the crease, and Bialik will collect it. He looks to outlet, and he hits Cameron. Blake Cameron up floor with it. Takes a check from Porter and survives it. Now the ball is fed across floor, and that was errant out of the stick of Evelyn, and it'll be Outlaw ball. Sutherland mishandles it now, and Evelyn is gonna grab it back. Excuse me, that is not Evelyn. But that shot is taken, and good save there by McLeod. Loose ball by Gaudreau, who comes back out over center. Gaudreau to the net, and he had his stick knocked away with the ball inside of it. Now Bialik gets checked by Gaudreau. Bialik was outside of his crease. They say Gaudreau went through the crease, so it'll be a Warrior ball. Here's Patterson to the dotted, and that shot hit an Outlaw. So it'll dribble back down into the Warrior zone, where it's picked up by Porter. Thought maybe Cody might have missed this game, but he looks like he's back and healthy, and now Brooks with a chance out front of the net. Yeah, I thought Porter might be out long term, but it's a good sign for the Outlaws. He looks like he's good to go here as Richardson mishandles the ball. It's picked back up by the Warriors. Here's Royer. Rookie season out of Sherwood Park. Tried to hit Evelyn in front of the net, but he dropped it. Now McLeod, as an Outlaw goes down, and he'll need to be attended to. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel. Just 2 minutes into the game. Still scoreless here. The Outlaws and Warriors battling for this final playoff spot here. As we wait to see what comes of this right now. So to give you a review of the North standings, right now it's the Rebels in first place with 24 points. Then the CROW, who have 15. And then you have the Outlaws at 7 and the Warriors at 4. Now these two teams play once more, so if the Warriors can sweep these final 2 games, they would put themselves in position to overtake the Outlaws for the final playoff spot. As the Outlaw, who is down, continues to be attended to. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with you on CROW LAX TV. So as we return here, the Outlaw, with some help, is being helped off the floor. I can't see who that is. I would tell you if I could. You might be able to tell as they leave the floor here. The Outlaws, of course, already without Carter Grace, who might be done for the season with a knee issue. And he has been their MVP to this point, so that's an obvious loss. And I still cannot see the number that's being carried off, so I apologize for that. And we look like we're almost set to go here. Now off the draw, it's picked up by Gaudreau. He tried to one-hand it ahead. And Wells is going to pick the ball up. Wells out of the corner hits Gaudreau, who gets the ball up high to Hildebrand. Hildebrand swings it over to the left side where Lewis grabs it. Lewis winds and fires into the chest of Bialik, and he'll grab the loose ball. Warriors transition back up. Here's Quinn Patterson. He hits Muir. And he promptly gets it to Andrusiak. Andrusiak is going to work the two-man game with Nicholson, but he loses the ball. That ball is batted back up high where Royer collects it. Royer at the restraining line sails one in on McLeod, who handles that easily, and the Outlaws are going to look to transition out. McKenna gets around Nicholson and looking to dish. He hands it to Rossman. The Outlaws offense storms into the zone. And to the net, Rossman! And he almost tucked it short side, but Bialik stayed tight to the post and made the save. Now in transition, the Warriors, terrible turnover here. And back the other way, 3-on-1 go the Outlaws. Porter, and he's stopped by Bialik. So just avoiding disaster there were the Warriors. A simple handoff ended up in a 3-on-1 back the other way for the Outlaws. I don't know why they changed off the bat exchange, but they got fortunate there that Bialik bailed them out. And now the ball gets rolled out to center, but unable to handle it were the Outlaws, and back come the Warriors. But the ball is sailed over Fair's head, and he picks up the ball in behind the net. He's knocked down. He gets back up, and he's going to come around the front of the net. But he threw that away, and the loose ball is picked up by Rossman. Outlaws offense comes back in to the zone, and Rossman gets a pick set. Rossman off his back foot takes a sidearm. Bialik said no, and the ball will come back up floor. Patterson, who's scored a handful of goals since coming in over in the trade that sent Ryland Connors to the Rebels. Patterson backpedaling, gets a pick to Nicholson, and he fires one right at McLeod. Ball goes loose and is batted forward by Sutherland. Here's Gaudreau, one-on-one to the net. Gaudreau backed his defender in, and Bialik with another big save. Here come the Warriors. Heavy pressure there. And now the ball is grabbed by Royer off the bench. Johnny Royer swings it over to Andrusiak to the net, and he tucks it up over the shoulder of McLeod to make it 1-0. So now the Warriors are going to be awarded possession off the draw and look to extend their lead. Muir He's going to get it to Andrusiak, who got it to Evelyn. Evelyn swings it over to the right side. That shot's taken and soaked by an Outlaw stick. And ball is picked up by I believe that's, might be Bice, as that shot is taken by Wells, and then the rebound was picked up. And able to make the save was Bialik, and then another one came in. Bialik turned that away as well. Bialik bounces a bad pass up floor, and it's picked up by Hildebrand. Hildebrand in transition, and another save by Mr. Bialik, who has been sharp here early. The Outlaws have had about 4 or 5 good opportunities in transition. 13:44 to go here, first period. Warriors up 1-0. There's Royer off the crossbar as he changed the release point of his shot. He went from sidearm to up high and nailed the crossbar. Back into the zone comes Morris. Ball swings. McLeod is able to make the save off of Andrusiak. Sutherland races out to center and headmans the ball up to Gaudreau, who tried to hit Lewis off the bench as he cut. And now Brooks grabs the loose ball. Bice inside and threw that over top of the net. Good loose ball there by Cameron, and he squeezes through a couple of defenders. Cameron is going to keep it and run into the Outlaw zone and turn around. Evelyn feeds it into the middle. Good grab there, and that shot is taken, and they say it hit the side of the net, and it won't be a reset. Here's Walker. Gets it to Porter. Tried to get it over to Hildebrand, but he missed the ball. Here's Rossman. Up high to Lewis. Lewis into the stick of Bialik. And the Warriors are going to look to get the ball up floor here. But the ball's thrown, well, it looked like it was thrown right into the stick of Porter, but went over top of him, and now Porter has it. Jesse Porter over to Felix Rossman, and a riser this time. Turned away by Bialik. Lucas Bialik throws this right into the stick of Bice. And it's a few turnovers now by the Warriors. Ball goes back into the Warriors zone where Bialik picks it up once again. In look of a better pass this time. Bialik is picked off by Wells, and he scores. Some brutal turnovers here by the Warriors, and it's resulted in the Outlaws eventually evening this up at 1. Face-off is won by the Outlaws, and Lewis is going to pick it up. Gaudreau, good catch there as he turns it back out. And he works the right side with Rossman. Looking back door, but the pass is picked off, and Cameron is going to run towards the net. Gaudreau catches him, and Cameron is going to have to peel out. Blake Cameron stripped. Ball goes near center, and then he's thrown down. And it'll be over and back, Outlaw ball. But now the Warriors are going to create the turnover, and Fair gets it up to Andrusiak. Andrusiak scores. Up high again on McLeod, and it's 2-1. Ball goes out near the benches on the draw. And it's going to be picked up by Morris, who's going to run into traffic deep into the corner. He's chased by Walker, heavily pursued, but he hands it off successfully to Patterson. Patterson taking a hacks from Walker. Nicholson up over the top. And it's another hack that's going to get called this time by official Sean Reed. The Warriors are about to go to the power play here. Patterson, loose ball. Winds and fires and nailed the pipe. And wide open back door is Royer. Didn't get the ball though. Evelyn now, left side. Up high, Patterson gets a pick. Now over to Morris. Or Royer, excuse me, and Royer shot that. McLeod turns it away, and Walker will go to the box. It'll be a Warrior power play. So Walker got away with a few chops and eventually gets called there, and the Warriors will have an opportunity to extend their lead halfway through the first period. Here's Kai Morris. Plays some catch. Up top. And Druziak, Morris. Morris steps into one and he scores. Kai Morris is able to go low to low on McLeod, and the Warriors find themselves up a couple. Should note the Warriors are without a few defenders here. I know it looks like the biggest one being Trennan Redlick, who's a big-time transition player for them. I don't see Jama here either. And Stashnik is out as well, I assume injured. So that's three pretty good defenders all out and one very good transition player. And for that matter, too, because Stashnik is a good transition player as well. But that shot goes wide. Pops up in the air, picked up by the Outlaws. As they look to go to work, the ball goes loose, and it's going to be picked up by the Warriors. Ball into the stick of Patterson, who winds and fires real early in the shot clock there. Probably not a shot you want to see taken. If you're the head coach, Vadiep, the ball now goes loose again. Some sloppy play, and Lewis is going to eventually pick it up. Here's Lewis. Up high. Throws it behind Rossman. And it'll be Warrior ball. It looks like we'll get our first media timeout. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. Just hit the subscribe button, and you won't have to do much of anything. You'll get a notification sent right to your phone, and you'll know when games go live. We start play back up here with the Warriors in possession. And the ball was unable to be picked up by McKenna. It's actually not McKenna, as that Sutherland is now in possession with the ball. Sutherland down floor and wastes one into Bialik. Here goes Morris, who had the last Warrior goal. The Warriors spread the floor here. Ball moved into the far corner. Swung. Nicholson up across the top. He'll bring it in and go around the net. Dylan Nicholson surveys the floor here. Gets it over to Johnny Royer. Up across the top and a shot low. McLeod stepped over and made the save. Now loose ball. Nicholson grabs it and he works with Andrusiak. Nicholson up over the top, misses the net on the short side top corner. Warriors still with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Shot comes in. Loose ball. And it's moved up to Morris. Morris, Andrusiak. Low to low and stopped by McLeod. Ball goes loose and heavy hit there. Andrusiak gets the interference call and it'll be Warrior possession. As the ball works its way around the perimeter. Nicholson has Gaudreau on him. And the Warriors need that fifth guy on the floor. They get it. Outside shot taken. Rebound. Stopped by McLeod as Nicholson grabbed the loose change in front. And one of McLeod's better saves of the game. Gaudreau goes and gets the outlet pass and hands off to Rossman. Pick set there by Bice, who goes down awkwardly there. Lewis pushed out to the blue line. He's hit. Lewis with it still, and he puts one into the chest of Bialik. Now the loose ball is going to be pursued, but the Warriors don't grab it, and Hildebrand takes the ball away. 6 minutes to go here, first period. Warriors 3, Outlaws 1. Ball is eventually grabbed by Brooks. Moving pick there, and it'll be Warrior ball. Patterson breaks down the floor with it, gets it over into the stick of Basinger, and now the ball moves around back over to Patterson. Patterson throws a bad pass in between everybody, and the Outlaws come back the other way. In transition, and just missing the net there as the ball pops up into the equipment of a Warrior, and it'll be Outlaw ball. Here's Wells, who has the Outlaw goal. Takes his man, one-on-one. Wells on the step back. Stopped by Bialik. And Blake Cameron transitions out. Hard off the bench comes Morris. Kai Morris got pushed away from the net by Porter at the last second. Morris underneath. Morris to the net. And just getting enough of it with his arm was McLeod. Now in transition the other way go the Outlaws. Lewis to Rossman. Rossman to the net. Gets knocked down. And the ball is pushed away by Bialik. Loose ball now. Lewis comes away with it. Gets it to Hildebrand. Hildebrand gets the pick set there by Rossman. That shot stopped by Bialik. And Lewis will go and grab the loose ball. Hildebrand. Pick set there by Bice. Hildebrand underneath. Tried to flip it back to Bice, but that's going to be back over, and it'll be Warrior ball. 4:30 to go first period. Warriors with the lead, 3-1. In the near corner, Andrusiak up to the dotted where Nicholson camped out. Ball swings back over to Evelyn. Now a seal set on the right side, and that shot easily stopped by McLeod. Now a rainbow pass by McLeod up to Richardson. Ball goes up in the air. And the Warriors are going to try and track this down and avoid a possession here by the Outlaws, but Richardson eventually does pick it up. And then Richardson threw a hard shot to the short side. Porter, loose ball, and he scores coming out of the corner to cut the lead down to 1. McLeod is going to grab the loose ball that came back to him off the draw, and Gaudreau runs it back into Warrior zone. Here's Lewis. Hopping around. Gets it in the middle, Rossman, and trapping that to his body was Bialik. Fair. Takes a whack from Rossman, but he gets it over center. Now Fair to the net, and making the save was McLeod. As Wells bounces it to Bice. Gets it back to Wells. Wells to the dotted and rips one short side as he jumps in the air and sort of off balance, ties this game up. The ball is kicked forward by Morris. Doesn't pick it up, and the Outlaws had a shot at it, but Morris ends up with it. Here's Kai Morris, and he had a tough angle there, and McLeod turned him away. Gaudreau, as he usually does, brings the ball up for the Outlaws and gets it to Rossman. Felix Rossman pushed out, and that's going to be back over as the ball bounces by Hildebrand. Out of the corner. Ball comes up high to Royer. Andrusiak rolls. Comes back up with it. Now down the side and rips it far side on McLeod to make it 4-3. Another loose ball here, this time by Bilodeau. Right off the face-off, and he comes down into the Outlaw territory. Bilodeau swings it to the half wall, and the Warriors get the rest of their offense onto the floor. They have 4 lefts here. Nicholson cuts and gets it. He's pushed away from the middle of the floor, and now he tried to throw it into the middle, but it was errant, and it'll be Outlaw ball on the over and back. Looking for a man in front were the Outlaws, but the ball was too high and wide of him. Here is Brooks with the little underhand shot. Stopped by Bialik. 1:40 to go now, first period. Warriors with the 4-3 lead. Again, though, Bialik throws that away, and it's going to go into the crease of McLeod, who looks up floor. Now Gaudreau has numbers. Gaudreau's got Porter off the bench. Now to Lewis, and tried to fire it back short side and miss the net. Well, they say Bialik got a piece of it. So it'll be a reset here for the Outlaws. Flipped up, but picked off by the Warriors. Patterson goes the other way with it, but then gets knocked down and loses the ball. Up floor, Wells all day, and Wells pauses and then goes around Bialik up high to tie the game once again. Gaudreau, loose ball there, or sorry, Sutherland, loose ball there. Now Hildebrand to the half wall where Rossman waits, and he took an off-balance shot into Bialik. Now ball comes back and Rossman grabs it. Rossman pushed away by Pennock. Pick set. Hildebrand in tight. Just got pushed away from the ball there. Couldn't bring it in, and Fair will come back. And that's too far for Andrusiak, but he looked like he was going to run it down there. Ball stays loose. And now Gaudreau is going to pick it up. Gaudreau fires it up floor where Bice is. And that's going to do it for the first period here with the score. The Edmonton Warriors 4, the Beaumont Outlaws 4. I want to thank you for tuning in on CROW LAX TV. Hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. 4-4 is the score. After the first period, we'll check back with you in about 10 minutes. Welcome back inside Bill Hunter Arena for second period action, where it's the Warriors and Outlaws deadlocked at 4 in a game that will go a long way in determining who gets this final playoff spot in the north. Royer to the dotted, into the middle now, feeds it to Nicholson, who steps back out, gets it into the stick of Evelyn. Now that shot from Royer goes wide. Nicholson is going to fight for the loose ball, doesn't bring it in though. Tied up, and the Outlaws will come away with it. Here's Bice off the bench. Hildebrand to the net, and great stop there by Bialik. Now pass is fed out in front. Bice didn't bring it in, and then he's going to get called for moving. Now breakaway opportunity for the Warriors. Here's Muir, wrong side of the floor, and the ball fell out of his stick. Up floor, they try to hit McKenna. Ball bounces deep down into the Warrior zone, and it's picked up by Patterson, who runs it over center and floats it over to Andrusiak, who's got a couple, and he almost had another there. Good save there by McLeod. Loose ball comes back out into Warrior possession. Ball up high. Pick set there, and the shot comes in and just wide. That'll be back over, and the Outlaws will gain possession. Want to remind you about Battle of the Border, taking place in Missoula, Montana this September. Go and check it out. Tour the beautiful Montana campus and the North-South Box Lacrosse tournament that takes place in September in Missoula, Montana. That shot goes off the bar, I think, out of play, and the Outlaws will maintain the ball here. Lewis, bit of a spin move. Lewis is forced into the corner. Now the ball is knocked down by Bilodeau. And the ball bounces back out in front. And the Warriors had numbers, but the pass was late and it was knocked down by Gaudreau. Here's Gaudreau up floor now. And racing in was Sutherland, and he hit crossbar. McKenna, I don't know what he was doing there. It was almost like he thought it was back over and then quickly realized it wasn't, because it looked like he was putting the ball down but didn't quite do it. And now Brooks to the net, and that hit some pipe, I believe. Wells, who has 3 in this game, takes a shot and kisses the logo of Bialik's jersey. Up floor come the Warriors. This time Basinger feeds it to Nicholson. Nicholson rolls to the net. Back over to Basinger, who steps into one, and he tried to pull it back short side and just missed. That'll unfortunately be back over, and the Outlaws pick it back up. That shot gets tossed by Lewis. Goes off of a Warrior, and there will be no over and back. Mitchell swings it. Rossman from behind the net feeds it. Got knocked down. Bice with the loose ball. He's tied up, and now the ball will come out to center, and it'll be Warrior ball. Patterson tried to get it to Andrusiak, who dropped it. And now back in transition comes Sutherland. Now behind the play, a Warrior got taken down. They'll blow it dead. There'll be an interference call, and the Warriors will go to the power play. So it'll be Morris up top with Royer and Andrusiak on the shooters, and Nicholson, Basinger on the crease. Nicholson tried to float one at the net. Morris throws that behind Nicholson, who goes and grabs it off the glass. Morris, Royer, his stick was disrupted. And now Andrusiak trying to send a sweeping shot at the net. Didn't work out, and here goes Gaudreau. Gaudreau with Porter. Porter stopped by Bialik. And Bilodeau's got to move this up the floor. I don't know why he didn't just float it over Porter's head there, but he's going to do it the hard way, and he didn't avoid the 8-second count. Gaudreau feeds it up to Wells, to the net, behind the back, and he scores. Austin Wells with a beautiful BTB to give the Outlaws their first lead, I believe. As well. Not very good defense there by the Warriors. Just allowed to walk to the net. And the Outlaws go up by 1. Royer with it. It's the ball up to Morris. Morris, Andrusiak fires and scores. Andrusiak with a bullet to the far side ties this back up at 5. We go back and forth here. Inside Bill Hunter Arena, it's tied back up, and Lewis is going to roll to the net. Lewis up high. Mitchell to the net, and he gets stopped. Actually, shouldn't assume that's Mitchell. I think Mitchell's a right-hander. It can't be Mitchell, as the ball goes loose. And it's picked up by Bice. Swings it over to Lewis. The U17 affiliate gets it up high, back over to Hildebrand, now to Lewis. Lewis to the net, and that almost went through Bialik, but rolled out the other side. And a hard hit there by Lentz, but the Outlaws still pick up the loose. Lewis, shot soaked by a stick. And good spin move there by Muir on the loose ball. Lachlan Muir in, and he just missed the net. And that'll be back over, and it'll be Outlaw ball. Here's Porter. 13 and a half to go, middle frame. Into the middle, Hildebrand on the cut, and the scores. Marcus Hildebrand is able to bury it 5-hole as he cut across, caught the pass on the run to make it 6-5. Ourselves a pretty high-scoring affair here, as we're not even halfway through the game, and it's 6-5 in favor of the Outlaws. That shot taken, stopped by McLeod. And up the floor, great catch there, and a goal. An amazing catch there. I want to say that's Tyler Shelton, who did an outstanding job of bringing that in on the run. wasn't much air on that pass and was able to catch it and go in and score to go up 2. All taking place in Montana. So back into the zone comes Porter. On the left side, he's alone as the Outlaws have 4 righties. Hildebrand into the middle, and a behind-the-back attempt is fought off by Bialik. Loose ball, and Hildebrand goes and collects it. Porter rolls off a check. Tried to feed Bice, who was all alone in the middle of the floor. Wasn't aware of it, though. And Hildebrand picks up the loose ball. Wells across the top on the run, and already scoring like that once. Bialik got a shoulder on it, and now Muir has got a loose ball right in front of him, and instead of picking it up, he tried to bat at it, and it's going to result in Outlaw possession. Here's Lewis into the middle, and that shot on the pick and roll is turned away by Bialik. Brought back up the floor for the Warriors, and into the stick of Dylan Evelyn. Andrusiak's going to have to grab that ball off the floor, and off the half wall, Royer will operate. Some seals set there for him. The defender gets up over the top, though, and he has to turn back. Royer way wide. Loose ball, Andrusiak throws the garbage into the corner. And it's going to be Outlaw ball with 8:08 to go here, second period. Outlaws with the 7-5 lead. Here's Brooks, near corner. Into the middle, and Hildebrand stopped by Bialik, and now the ball bounces out over center. And the big man, Bilodeau, is going to try and run it down. Bilodeau boxes out Brooks and picks up the loose ball. He's pinned there, and he goes down now as Bilodeau gets tied up with an Outlaw. Looked like Shelton. And the ball comes back up floor into the stick of Wells. Austin Wells having a huge game here tonight. Fed that, and that shot came in wide from Lewis. Patterson is going to gallop back over center. And he's got a lane to the net here. Patterson, and he throws that into the midsection of McLeod, who then somehow Sutherland grabs that. It just stuck his stick in the air, and it landed in it. And I don't think he could have done that again if he tried 100 more times, but they ended up getting a shot out of it. It went wide, and it'll be Warrior ball. Warriors offense. Royer swings it into the stick of Nicholson. Nicholson rolls off a check. They'll call moving, and it'll be Outlaw ball. Here's Sutherland back the other way. 6:55 to go, second period. As the Outlaws try to extend their lead, Wells gets checked out near the boards. He goes down, flips it up to Walker, and then Hildebrand turning and spinning around, flipped it at the net, and then Porter found himself all alone in front of the net off the feed, and Bialik will make the save. Rumbling up the floor are the Warriors. Morris gonna have to pick the ball up off the floor. And he feeds it to Nicholson. Nicholson to Andrusiak. His hands are disrupted on the release. Basinger, the one-handed loose ball pickup. Morris floats one at the net. And McLeod makes that easy save. McLeod, rainbow pass to nobody, trying to avoid the 8-second count. Fair will go and grab it. As a Warrior gets chucked down behind the play. No call. Nicholson up top. Feeds it. Gets it back. As the Warriors really not doing much offensively for the whole period here. Not moving the ball as Nicholson, surrounded by 3 defenders, gets a shot off, and then Royer with the rebound attempt. It looks like the Outlaws are going to go to the box. So the Warrior power play reconvenes here with the ball down low. Nicholson up top to Morris. As that pass gets airmailed, it'll be picked back up. Morris now to Basinger off the crease. Now Andrusiak winds and fires. Stopped by McLeod, who pins it to his midsection. Rainbow pass again. And that's just going to bounce down into the Warrior crease, where Bialik will outlet. Big, important portion of this game here is the Warriors suddenly find themselves down 2 after having the lead for basically the whole first period. And they're going to look to get back in this game right now as the ball goes around the perimeter. Morris and Andrusiak just dropped the ball. And here goes Gaudreau to the net. Saved by Bialik. Well, no, it went in. Well, they wave it off. They wave it off. Official Sean Reed says no goal, and the Outlaws not happy. They say that went in, and the officials will discuss, and they say no goal. So the Warriors avoid disaster there. That would have been another shorthanded goal against, and the score will remain 7-5. Key point in the game, like I said here, the Warriors need one. Royer down low, Nicholson. Seal set. Nicholson to the front of the net. He tried to go up over top of McLeod, and he shrugged it off. Now Sutherland goes in behind his own net and outlets up nicely. The Outlaws throw that pass in behind their intended target, and Cameron picks up the loose ball. Blake Cameron has numbers, but he stops up here. I don't get that. They had numbers there, and now Royer fortunately gets the ball to go off of an Outlaw, up and out of play, but the shot was not there at that point as some of Warriors peeled out. Morris. Basinger back up to Morris as he gets chased up, and then a twister gets stopped by McLeod. Royer over to Andrusiak, and he sailed that, and it hit a stick on its way to the net. Now again up floor, McLeod to Sutherland, and that ball was over the head of Richardson. 3 minutes to go now as the Warriors come back up floor. Andrusiak to the net, and a stop again by McLeod. He's made a few saves in a row now of decent quality. As we dip underneath, 3 minutes to go here, second period. Still 7-5 Outlaws. Here comes Wells. Into the middle, Lewis. And he missed the net. After a few fakes, Lewis back with the loose ball. He floats one in on net. And the Warriors come back the other way. Here's Lentz. Gets it to Nicholson. And ball staying in the sticks of the Warriors here for far too long. As this is not going anywhere here. And that'll be a 30-second shot clock violation. Walker gets it over to the right side where Wells operates from. Wells flips it to Bice into the middle of the floor, and shutting off the lower part of the net was Bialik. Now Bialik is going to look to head man the ball, and good catch there by Patterson, who gets over in time. Heavy check there into the boards by Richardson, but he bounces off of it and goes in behind the net. Quinn Patterson to Andrusiak, quickly up to Royer. Royer shot, shut off by McLeod. And a long lead pass. Sutherland absorbs some contact. Whacks Bilodeau. And now Fair with the loose ball. Fair is going to be pushed to center. Easy moving pick call there. Outlaw ball. Last minute of play here in the second period. as Wells comes back with it. Wells shoots that up high and wide. And Cameron will pick up the loose ball. Blake Cameron runs it all the way through center. Blake Cameron to the dotted, feeds it. Nicholson bounces it, and McLeod once again, no trouble with that. Ball up with Bice. Twister pass there, he gets it back. Didn't get to him. Wells feeds Lewis. Steps into one. Shot soaked by a Warrior defender. And the ball back over to the right side. Wells flips it to Bice. Ball didn't get there, and Fair is going to call a timeout, but there's only 2 seconds left. So we'll play back up here with the Warriors having to start deep in their own end and only 2 seconds on the clock. As that ball is grabbed, but the buzzer had already rung. And that'll do it for 2 periods of play here with the score. The Beaumont Outlaws 7, the Edmonton Warriors 5. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel. Hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. After 2, it's the Outlaws 7, the Warriors 5. Check back with us in about 10 minutes. Welcome inside Bill Hunter for third period action, whereas the Outlaws leading the Warriors by a score 7-5. Morris is going to flip this up over center, and Nicholson is going to take it underneath Gaudreau, rolls back up, and he's going to swing it into the stick of Basinger. Now back over to Evelyn, drag move, and stopped by McLeod, who's looking up floor. He gets it to Sutherland. Sutherland up quickly to Gaudreau. Gaudreau's going to go to the net here, and now he peels back out. Hildebrand swings it into the stick of Porter. Into the middle, Gaudreau, and he's knocked down on the back, and that'll draw a call. Hildebrand back over, gets it up top. Seal set there if he wants it, but Lentz comes up on the switch. That shot taken by Wells, and the Warriors will go to the box. So Wells will start it up here. He's got it up top. Outlaws not moving a whole lot on this power play, and then Rossman is able to go low down by Bialik's foot on the far side to go up by 3. Felix Rossman extends the Outlaw lead here. And the ball is quickly picked up off the draw by Morris. He hits Muir. Lachlan Muir waits, and he gets it over to Johnny Royer. Royer swings it into the stick of Andrusiak, who shoots that off of a leg. Ball bounces down into the Warrior zone, where the ball bounces into the crease. And it'll be Outlaw ball as the 30-second shot clock expires. Porter two-mans it and swings it over to Bice. Loose ball, and it's going to be picked up by the Outlaws. Quick stick attempt, and it's called a goal as Hildebrand jammed that in before falling into the crease. It's 9-5. There by the Outlaws results in their biggest lead of the game here. Here's Austin Wells, stutter step underneath his man. He gets grabbed, and that's going to be a call as the Outlaws will return to the power play. Want to remind you about the Battle of the Border taking place in Missoula, Montana this September. Go check it out. Of course, can go and take a tour of the University of Montana and the North-South Box Lacrosse Tournament that's taking place in September in Missoula, Montana. It's the Battle of the Border. As we get a wipe of the floor, we'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back with you in about 30 seconds. Wells fires that, and stopped by Bialik. Here comes Muir. Fakes a pass, he rolls back, and gets over center. Lachlan Muir squeezes past a check, and behind the net. He's hacked a couple of times, pretty heavily there. Now up top, feeds it, Andrusiak, and good stop there by McLeod on the far side, and loose ball grabbed by Shelton. Tyler Shelton playing his minor lacrosse for the Parkland Posse. Came over in a trade actually earlier in the year from the Rebels in his second year of junior. Spent most of his time during his junior career with a Tier 2 Parkland Posse as Rossman just threw that through Bialik. 10-5. And they're going to say Outlaw possession on the loose ball push on the draw. So the Outlaws come back into the zone here with Walker trotting in. Walker looks into the middle. He swings it to Lewis. Lewis winds and fires and looks like he was shooting that into the ocean. There was all kinds of room over there. And it's 11-5. Tie up off the draw, and it's going to be picked up by the Outlaws, and the ball bounces inside the crease of Bialik. Now transitioning is Dylan Lentz. Lentz pushed into the boards. Royer. That shot goes off of the backside of an Outlaw, and it's going to be possessed back by the Warriors. Loose ball, Nicholson, and he goes 5-hole on McLeod. And that's going to be wiped out because another Warrior was inside the crease when the ball went in the net. So no goal there. The Outlaws will remain up 11-5. Hildebrand hops into the zone here. He's marked there by Fair. And now up top. That shot comes in and bounces wide. Good loose ball grab there by Lewis. But Rossman couldn't handle the pass, and then the ball will dribble out to the other side of the crease where it's picked up by Patterson. Down the floor go the Warriors. Staying in the stick of Patterson and now Fair for an extended amount of time, and now it's going to get thrown away. Walker picks the ball up and goes with it. 14:45 to go. The Outlaws now with a commanding 11-5 lead. Wells doubles, or gets doubled, and now he throws it away. Blake Cameron races away here on a breakaway, and he's stopped by McLeod. Ball goes loose, and he chases Porter down, who one-hands it forward. Lewis just avoids the 8-second count and carries it deep into Warrior territory. Chased all the way to the bench, and pinned there is Lewis. Now the ball out in front, and Wells tried to tuck one in, and Bialik was able to turn it away. Back down floor come the Warriors, and Druziak to Nicholson. Dylan Nicholson stops up and he feeds the right side. Now the ball is going to sit with Evelyn, and he winds and fires, and a foot save there by McLeod. Good loose ball there by Andrusiak. Andrusiak getting harassed, and he has to turn back, and he loses it. Now Andrusiak's going to be stripped, and Gaudreau will transverse the ball up the floor. Gaudreau ducks underneath a check and then one-hands it, but that was behind Porter. Jesse Porter. That was his brother I coached, Jackson Porter, and who we all miss. It was a bad slip-up by me as the Warriors come back up floor. Pennock. Down to Nicholson. Basinger gets it over to Morris, who just sort of backpedaled and floated that by the net. And then the rebound attempt was taken by Evelyn. Nicholson rebound, and McLeod shut off the bottom part of the net. Here's Cook for the Outlaws. Comes up floor and waits. Now he defers to Rossman, who will stop up. Wait here as the ball goes into the corner off the glass. It's picked up and rolled in on net. 11:58 to go now, third period. And the Outlaws have extended after what's been a close game all the way through in this third period. About 5 minutes in, really extended this lead out, and that's where we sit now with the Outlaws up by 6. Patterson with a no-look shot gets knocked down by a helmet, it looked like. And it's going to be picked back up by the Outlaws. Out in front. Ball's bouncing around. And Andrusiak is going to take possession. Steve Andrusiak spins back, but threw it too low, and that's going to be back over. It'll be Outlaw ball. Here's Rossman. Over to Porter. Mishandles it for a second. He gets it back. Jesse Porter. Underneath. And that's pinned to the floor by Bialik. Jesse Porter having an exceptional rookie season. Both him and Ryland Connors really are the only discussion for a Rookie of the Year type award as the ball goes over. Gets it back. And his brother Cody has been good as well. But when we're talking cream of the crop, it's got to be, I would actually give it to Jesse. I just think his game is so complete and he's done so much for this Outlaw team. Now missing Grace, their leading scorer. As a first-year junior, it's hard to match what he's done as Hildebrand twists it to the short side and hits pipe. Ball bounces back down floor where McLeod will take it and move it up floor. Ball flipped into the middle of the floor. It misses a couple of Outlaws. And it's going to be picked up by the Warriors. Ball quickly up floor and into the stick of Dylan Evelyn. 9:45 to go now. Outlaws with a sound 11-5 lead. Basinger, as that pick is set by Royer on Gaudreau. He goes down. That shot misses the net, goes up into the ceiling, and it'll be Outlaw ball. Here's McKenna. Slash there hard on the leg, but keeps possession, and now the ball's in the stick of Rossman. And backdoor, Porter had a look, goes wide. Nice feed there by the Outlaws, who are surveying and weighing their options pretty well there. And now Heavy check there on Brooks. Ball bounces down in behind the dotted line. And Muir with a slash on the leg is going to get a penalty. I didn't see the first one. Outlaw must have done something first because they're both going to the box. So we'll play 4-on-4 here with 8.5 to go. Andrusiak off a check. Into the middle, Andrusiak fires and scores, and Andrusiak is having himself a game here. I believe that's 4 for him. And it's an 11-6 Outlaw lead. So Andrusiak with an individual effort there to get the Warriors their first of the third. And they'll continue to play 4-on-4 here. Andrusiak, pick and roll with Evelyn, but he lost the ball. And it's going to be grabbed by McLeod. Sutherland floats it up. Walker, but that's picked off, and here goes Andrusiak in all alone, and stopped by McLeod with the shoulder. Gaudreau picks up the loose ball now and heads back the other way. Patterson chasing him around here wildly, takes a whack on Gaudreau and backpedals it into the zone here as Wells gets the pick set there from Hildebrand. The ball goes into the Warrior bench, and that will be their ball. Patterson gets it to Basinger. Now in the stick of Morris, who hops up and pops it up to Evelyn, but he threw it away. And here go the Outlaws. And heavy whacks there by Evelyn on the breakaway. And probably could be a 5-minute penalty here. I doubt Sean's gonna, yeah, he's only given it 2, but pretty careless slashes on that play, but it'll only be 2, and the Outlaws will go to the power play 4-on-3. Hildebrand down on the crease up to Wells. Wells, no look pass. Cross crease now from Porter to Hildebrand. One-hand pass back over to Porter. As Lewis goes across the face of his defender underneath and then fits it in the short side. And the Outlaws are doubling up the Warriors. It's 12-6. Possession here to the Warriors off the draw. Morris gets it up to Nicholson, who feeds Royer now down low to Muir. Fair underneath, bounces one in on McLeod, turned away. Loose ball picked back up by Muir. Here's Andrusiak. Spins back, gets it up high. Shot comes in, and that's a bullet. Up over the shoulder of McLeod. And they want the ball because that is the young man's first goal, and I want to confirm who this is here. But that was a heck of a shot, probably the best shot of the game, really, to this point. I believe that was Hoagland who scored the goal there, his first as a junior. I believe he's a call-up. As the ball goes into the glass, and it's picked up by Gaudreau. Gaudreau all the way in, and good stop there by Bialik. Loose ball goes into the corner, and it's picked back up by the Warriors. Patterson is going to get double teamed here somehow. They kind of laid off there, and he's going to rumble into the zone. Morris. Something I've noticed in this game is guys are picking up the ball off the draw and waiting for it to be blown in, and a guy is coming in behind him, and he's not really getting 9 feet, but then the guy doesn't stick check him and take the ball away from him. It's happened a few times in this game as the Outlaws come back down into the offensive zone. Loose ball. And it's going to be pushed in behind the net. And that's going to be Outlaw ball here with 4:21 to go in a 12-7 game. Outlaws up ahead. Here's Rossman. Spins back and swings it. Now in the stick of Porter. Nice cut there by Lewis, and then he threw a fake and got Bialik to bite, and then just threw it in the short side to make it a 13-7 game. Cameron to Lentz to Nicholson. Out in front, Nicholson got tied up, and Sutherland is going to go grab the loose ball. Picked up now by Walker, and he's got numbers now with Hildebrand. Walker bounces it off the floor out of play, and that'll go back into Warrior possession. Danny Fair to Kai Morris as they clear the zone. Hoagland off the wall. Nicholson tries to go underneath. He's pushed away by some heavy checks. Chased out now, and he rolls one at the net. Stopped by McLeod. And right to the net goes McKenna. Misses it, though. And it's going to be Warrior ball. And Andrusiak breaking in with a chance. McLeod with another save. And Richardson comes out over center. Chase Richardson. Now over to the left side, back over to Bice, and he loses it. Didn't bring it in. Lentz chases it to the boards, where it's picked up by Richardson. He bounces it short side and misses. Loose ball, and the Warriors are going to come away with it here, and it's Pennock. Evelyn sets it up. Up top, Nicholson. Nicholson carries it. Now feeds it back door as Morris steps back and shoots. Stopped by McLeod. And they'll say the Warriors went through the crease. It'll be outlaw ball. As Wells is turning around here, and he sails one into the midsection of Bialik. Ball goes loose, and it's picked back up by Porter. Porter up high, where the ball sits in the stick of an outlaw, and he's just going to slow play this as the clock ticks underneath a minute to go. Hildebrand will just roll that in the corner. And it's going to be Warrior ball with 43 seconds remaining. Ball goes near the Warrior bench where it's picked up by Hoagland and dished up. Royer. Ball swings over to Andrusiak. That shot goes off a stick. And Andrusiak's going to pick it up. Ball way over the head of Basinger as he goes down to the floor. And the Outlaws will just let this clock run out here. So that will be your final score. The Beaumont Outlaws will get the win 13-7. The Outlaws will go to a record of 4-11-1, go to 9 points, while the Warriors will fall to 2-14. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel. Hit subscribe, and you'll be notified every time a game goes live. Final score here from Bill Hunter Arena. The Beaumont Outlaws 13, the Edmonton Warriors 7. Thanks so much, and we'll see you here tomorrow for the Warriors and Mavericks. Take care, everybody.